Good evening, everybody. My name is Matt Miller. I have the honor of serving as the superintendent of Mentor Schools. We want to thank you for joining us for the 20th induction ceremony of the Mentor High School Distinguished Alumni Hall of Fame. It's always a joy and a great evening and a great day to be parts of days like these where we have the opportunity to honor some of Mentor's finest graduates who have continued to represent our community well in the years after high school. This year's 6 inductees span from graduating Mentor High School 16 years ago to almost 40 years ago. Even though each of their experiences at Mentor High School must have been quite different as the years went by, one thing that has always remained the same is the annual Cardinal Notes. What better way to first introduce you to our inductees tonight than our tradition of flipping through those old yearbooks? Yeah, nervous laughter. We start this year in 1977. Cardinal Notes Volume 52. It's printed in black and white with the theme bringing us closer together. And when you get to page 49, you find this photo of Bruce Layman. The yearbook brags the student body is more than 2,700 students strong this year, but Bruce didn't get lost in the crowd, as you see by his shirt this evening. I like it though, I do. We also found him photographed with the a cappella choir, and he was a manager for both the football and baseball teams. Politics must have been on everyone's mind that school year. Sound familiar? One of the first pages of the notes reveals the students of Mentor High School reflected the nation's outcome, voting Jimmy Carter president in their mock election. Congratulations, Bruce. A few years later, in 1981, Ainslie Reschke walked the halls of Mentor High School as Ainslie Grose. The theme of this yearbook was Reflections of Red and Gray Days, and we found Ainslie's senior portrait on page 128. Senior class rings were big at the time and got a full-page spread in volume 56 of Cardinal Notes, and all the students seemed big into cheering on the Cardinal sport teams that year. Back in her high school days, you'd also find Ainslie busy spending time being a friend to students with special needs and after school working to help the elderly in nursing homes, traits that took her far into her professional career after graduation. Congratulations, Ainslie. Just a few years later, in 1985, Werner Barthol was a proud Mentor High School senior. But when we picked up volume 60 of the Cardinal Notes, we found him under the not pictured list. Good try, Mr. Barthol, but we don't give up that easily. As you can see, we went back a year and found your junior photo instead. Can't imagine what the senior one must have looked like. In that yearbook, we also found Warner pictured with the football team. At this point in time, Mentor High School is holding steady with graduating classes of about 720 students. Even with that many students, Warner was a standout then, just as he is today in his career. Congratulations. Let's leave the 80s now and head into the 1990s. 1996 in particular is where we find Jason Mobius. Cardinal Notes is beginning to look a little different now, and seniors get color photos. We didn't have to flip far to find Jason in this edition. He perhaps wins the Most Involved in High School award tonight. Before we even got to him looking dapper in this portrait, shot on page 30, we found him in the senior class polls winning Most School Spirit. Additionally, Jason was photographed with class officers, speech and debate, mock trial, community service club, future leaders, academic challenge, to name just a few. And it seems he has made time for fun too. There's also a photo of him giving a teacher a pie in the face at what I hope was a pep rally. If we have that, do we have? Nope, we don't have that one. I'd like to know who the teacher was. Congratulations, Jason. The next year's volume of Cardinal Notes is themed Up Close and Personal, and you find Alison Hughes close up on page 8. Only in 1997, it was Alison Adinaro. The class size is a little bit smaller this year, as Allison was among 652 Mentor High School graduates for the class of 1997. However, 652 must be enough kids to get some very diverse tastes in the school, and I wonder what it was like to walk the halls with students who voted Alanis Morissette as #1 concert that year, followed by Bone Thugs and Harmony as #2. Just saying. I imagine you've heard much better music if you've gone to watch Allison and her classmates perform in the a cappella choir. Allison was also very much involved in the community service club, something she has very much continued into today with commendable efforts. Congratulations. Our final inductee of the evening comes from the class of 2000, Anthony Debacco. Looking through volume 75 of the Cardinal Notes, you can tell Anthony was loved by everyone. Along with the portrait you see on the screen, we also found Anthony was crowned Snow King at the Winter Formal, and we found him pictured while goofing around as both the senior class vice president and entertaining in the Cardinal mascot costume, perhaps in every effort to hang out with cheerleaders. What I would say is the most telling thing about Anthony was he was voted friendliest in the senior polls. A true compliment and a personality trait that has taken him far, including becoming a successful business owner right here in Mentor. As we say, once a Cardinal, always a Cardinal. Congratulations to Anthony. Anthony, I'm going off script. Anthony brought his 2-week son, Rocco. 2-month son, Rocco, tonight in a bow tie. So, very nice. That's a first look at the 2016 class of the MHS Distinguished Alumni Hall of Fame. As the night continues, you will hear more about each individual and the accomplishments that have led us to tonight. On behalf of the Mentor Schools and the Mentor Board of Education, I'd like to say congratulations to this year's inductees. I'm going to introduce Peggy Kelly. Peggy is Hall of Fame class of 2013, yes. I believe. Peggy?
Welcome everyone to the 20th Annual Mentor High School Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony and Dinner. We are honored to have special guests this evening and would like to recognize them. In the back of the room, we have some members of the school board and the Mentor Schools Administration. Would you please stand? If there are any staff members, or if you didn't already stand with the administration, you're welcome to stand now. Okay, thank you. We have trustees and board members of our alumni and friends of Mentor High. Could you please stand to be recognized? And last but not least, I would like any past Hall of Fame inductees who are present to stand to be recognized. Right now, I'd like to introduce our Vice President, Rick Porter, to discuss scholarships.
Good evening, everyone. The Alumni and Friends of Mentor High School have a scholarship program. The 2006 Alumni and Friends of Mentor High School scholarship recipients this year are Victoria Rickacheski, Nicholas Clark, Grace Janosch. Each year, the Alumni and Friends of Mentor High School award scholarship program to award scholarship money to deserving Mentor High School graduates who are attending college, career technical schools, and other postgraduate training. To date, approximately $22,000 in scholarship money has been awarded since the inception of the scholarship in 1999. If you're interested in donations for the scholarship program, are greatly appreciated. If you would like to make a contribution to the Alumni Scholarship Funds, please send a check to following P.O. Box. Thank you very much. I'd like to introduce Mr. Joe Wade. Come up.
Let us give thanks. We gather here this evening as friends, family, colleagues with the intention to recognize and celebrate the lives of the inductees. We express our thanks for an opportunity to gather together where we can reinforce our community principles of openness and engagement for all people, for the gifts of life, and for the food that has been prepared for us. In this we are thankful. Congratulations to the Hall of Fame inductees to the class of 2016.
My name's Irene Carl. I am a trustee for the Alumni Association, and I would like to thank absolutely everybody for coming tonight. We have 6 phenomenal people that are going into our Hall of Fame that we are very proud of every single one of them. I'm going to do the first set of introductions. We had to draw the short straws to see who had to do the introductions tonight. You can tell who won. Oh, yes, I did. We're going to 1977. President Jimmy Carter pardons the Vietnam draft evaders. Elvis Presley dies at the age of 55. Apple Computers becomes incorporated. The minimum wage is $2.30. Postage stamps are 15 cents, and gas is only 62 cents. Yeah. But one of the most important things that happened in 1977 is Bruce Layman graduated from Menor High School. Bruce has been a member of the Loyal Order of the Moose in Painesville for 16 years, has served 11 as assistant secretary, and has served as secretary working every dinner, benefit, or fundraiser that he was able to get to. He also joined the Western Reserve Moose in 1995, served as secretary there also while organizing 13 other moose lodges in Northeast Ohio. Raising funds for Moosehead Child City is an important part of the moose lodges. They support children that have no parents or are living in detrimental situations. During Bruce's tenure with the moose, actively with the moose, I should say, fundraising amounts were incredible. They have had record fundraising with Bruce as an officer. In 2004, Bruce received the Fellowship Degree of Honor for his hard work and dedication. I keep looking at Bruce because Bruce is a childhood friend. We grew up down the street. He is also a member of the American Legion, Squadron 12, for the last 32 years, holding a position of Sergeant at Arms for 10 years and being in their color guard for 20. He also had leadership roles at Headlands Baptist Church and has been a member of the board or a trustee for the Menor High Alumni Association since inception. Though health reasons keep him from fully doing all of the wonderful work that he has done, he still serves his community. Ladies and gentlemen, Bruce Layman. You watch this.
Yeah.
You trip, your sister's killing you.
Gee, thanks, Irene.
I picked it up this morning.
Okay, first I'd like to thank God for this blessing. Congratulations to my fellow inductees. I think we had a great day at the high school today, meeting with the students, touring the school. I know I was fortunate to have Trevor, who was the student body president. I don't know how he got the short straw with me, but
A lot of that short straw stuff going on.
yeah. I want to thank my family, friends, classmates for coming tonight. Thanks to Tina for nominating me, and the Alumni Selection Committee for choosing me with one question. Are you guys nuts? Thanks to my driver for the day, or my chauffeur, Irene, picking me up and keeping me going, so
Okay, as she said, I'm in the Alumni Association. Time for the PSA. Please remember to stop by and buy some alumni gear. Lovely sweatshirts, hats, shirts. If we don't have your size, just let them know and we'll gladly send it to you. That's usually my spot over there, so. When I got involved with the Moose, I was fortunate to have a good group of people who wanted to work, and I got involved with them. In the Moose Legion, we have a saying, do some good thing for someone each day. I think that's something we can all strive to do. My sisters and I were taught at a very young age to honor our vets. There's a picture from Memorial Day, 1963. I was 4. Of my dad and myself putting up the flag at, I don't know, what was it, like 4:30 in the morning before we went to Madison to start the tour of the cemeteries. And I'm just glad I can continue to do that in my small way. I'm in the Marquee Ministry, or I was in the Marquee Ministry. I found on the internet that is something I didn't realize, that people, on how to get your point across, and I had 3 lines, 15 spaces on a line. And for people driving by to understand quickly. And I know, Matt, you're gonna love this, but we were right across from the old Headlands Elementary. And since I'm not at the schools anymore, I can do stuff like this. One of my favorite that I'd put on there, think there's no prayer in schools, go on test day. Okay, now the last item. Yes, I have a rare condition, and you guys are going to love this one. Vertebral basilar dysplasia with a compressed and distorted brainstem. The look I get from your faces are the same look I get from doctors for years. Don't worry about it. What it is an enlarged artery in the middle of the brain, and in my case, it's pressing down on my brainstem and causing a little crick in it. Causes balance issues and a whole bunch of other stuff you don't want to know about. I was told, no known cause, no known cure. But it doesn't mean you can't do something for someone. That's what my message was to the kids today. It's like, no matter what you do, you can still do something for someone. So with that, thank you, and God bless you all. Congratulations, sir. Thank you. I'm going to walk it over. Yes.
Okay, now we're up to 1981. John Hinckley Jr. shoots President Ronald Reagan. The first cases of AIDS are actually diagnosed. MTV premieres with Video Killed the Radio Star. And Lay's Potato Chips challenges us for the first time with Bet You Can't Eat Just One. But one of the important things of that year was Ainslie Grose Reschke graduates from Menor High School. While at Shore Junior High, Ainslie found her love for caring for special needs children. She worked in a nursing home until she landed her dream job at Deepwood Center. Her first client at Deepwood was a teenager in a full body cast. Ainslie earned an associate's degree at Lakeland, graduated from Hiram College with a bachelor's, and did some graduate work at Kent State University. She became a counselor at Deepwood and was Employee of the Year. She has since retired from Deepwood, God bless your heart, and found a new venture, Ashley's Moonshadow. This is a non-medical van used to transport special needs people to work, doctor's appointments, or where they need to go. In 2014, she opened a group home for developmentally challenged women. Her first tenant was actually her first client at Deepwood, the girl in the body cast. Ainslie still sits on the Deepwood Foundation Board, overseeing fundraising. She helps Mentor's Beautification Committee and Hearts to Hands. But Deepwood Run is her claim to fame. She has volunteered since its inception, donating not only her time, but gallons of blood to their cause. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to recognize Ainslie Grose Reschke. And Ainslie was wonderful enough tonight to bring us all a little gift. I have a couple baskets of bookmarks that they made, and we'll pass these baskets around. Please, everybody help themselves.
Hi, everybody. I want to just thank Irene and Peggy. Irene, where's Peggy?
She's hiding.
Peggy and Ricky for not taking no for an answer, since I tried to avoid this for a few years. Although I'm very honored and humble, and I thank you for including me. But I'm going to start with a video, and that'll kind of give you a little bit of a sum up of what I'm passionate about.
My sister has an intellectual disability. I really like to cuddle with Isabel when Isabel's laying by herself while Mom's getting ready to go places or doing stuff. I like to hang out with Isabel and play with her. She's really just perfect. I really, really, really love her.
My brother.
My sister.
My brother.
My sister has Down syndrome, but that doesn't define her.
He's a piano player.
He's a dancer.
She's my best friend.
And he's a great brother. And when you call him a retard, or even use the word retarded, you take all of that away.
Using that word is never funny, no matter how you use it.
Even if you're not talking about a person with a disability, it's never the right word to use about anything, ever.
Every time we hear it, it hurts those of us who love somebody with Down syndrome.
It's just wrong. My sister is perfect. You would see that if you got to know her.
I really don't remember the exact moment that I met a person with developmental disabilities that changed my life, but it did happen. I know that for sure. And what else I know for sure is when I was busy helping and teaching them, they were busy at helping and teaching me. My husband, Chris, and Amy, my twin, and her husband, Bubba, we are 81, the three of us, and Bubba was 80, class of 80. We're kind of like criminals in crime together, because we kind of stayed in Menor. We stayed on the same street. We had a double wedding. We were going to celebrate 30 years next month, or in June. And we raised our children. Yeah, it's good. We're keeping them for a little while. They're very tolerant of our relationship, so we'll keep them. But we each have one child and one daughter, and we wanted them to be in the Menor schools as well. So they are hook, line, and sinker, Menor Cardinals through and through. There's Victory right there. That's Amy and Bubba's. My daughter is Alexandra, and she teaches for sure, phys ed and health, and she is in Minnesota as we speak at the conference there. So she's really bummed because this is her element, not mine so much, but this is just exactly what she would like to be doing, so she's not here. So overall, though, it was important to the four of us to raise our kids with people with developmental disabilities. It's okay to be different, and you know, we want to make sure that we look out for the underdog. So they grew up at all kinds of things going on at Lake County Board of DD, and they kind of knew that the R word was a bad word in our house, and they actually became very good advocates for people that maybe would mistakenly put that in their vocabulary. And as Irene had said, now I spend a lot of my time kind of nurturing a small group home that I have. And I have a wonderful team. Some of them are here, Kathy and Margaret and Victory and Amy, and wonderful parents. We do this job not by ourselves. We work really closely together. We have a phenomenal team. I have 3 lovely ladies that live in a lovely home in Menor. And the first one is Judy, and there she is. Hi, everybody. Hi, Judecast. Now, Judy is our in-the-moment gal. She teaches us to stay in the moment, how important that is, and she reminds us of that. And she has the sixth sense of, she can read our minds. We don't have to say a single word, and she knows. And she's funny and thoughtful and really a great gal. And Naomi is our happy girl. There she is. She's been laughing and grinning this whole night. She smiles with her whole face, and if she could talk, she would tell us to be sure that we do something happy every single day for ourselves. And then little Daniela is back there. She actually is from Bosnia, and before she came to live with us, she lived at Deepwood as well, and she is our loyal gal. She teaches us to love and be loved desperately, because that's what she does. So I thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be part of it, and have a great night. Thanks.
Okay, on to 1985. The Titanic was found off the coast of Newfoundland. Movie tickets were $2.75. Peter Jennings actually interrupted General Hospital to announce the return of Coke Classic. And that weird little plastic thing that keeps a pizza from sticking on the top of the box, that was invented in 1985. Weren't we lucky? But more importantly, Werner Barthol graduated from Menor High School. Werner earned his BS at BS, I love that for an attorney, at Lake Erie College in International Business. He went on to Cleveland State's John Marshall College of Law and earned his Juris Doctorate in 1995. Werner started his career as an assistant Lake County prosecutor and has been in private practice since 2003. He also serves as legal counsel for the Painesville Township Trustees. Dedicated to high school mock trial, Werner has coached and judged many competitions. In his spare time, he offers pro bono services to those with limited funds at the Painesville Senior Center and serves on church councils and financial committees at the Zion Lutheran Church in Fairport. Ladies and gentlemen, Werner Barthol.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to start off by thanking the Hall of Fame Inductee Committee for putting this event together tonight. And, before I came up here, one of the things my wife warned me about, she said, Werner, you got 5 minutes, 5 minutes. I'd like to tell you, Irene says 5 minutes, you're getting cut off. And I'd like to just tell Irene, that's kind of like a little bit with an attorney, that's kind of like waterboarding. So, but I'll do my best. I'd like to thank the Board of Education, all the school officials, and my guides today who took me back through my old high school. needless to say, it was an interesting thing. Some things were very different and some things hadn't changed. It took me back. I really got to feel like I was really back in 1985 there for a little bit. And I'd just like to say, going back to 1985, it was quite a different time era. I wasn't probably the best student at that time, to say the least. And I would say back then, if somebody were to tell me, if somebody had approached me and told me in 31 years, Werner, you're either going to be an inductee at the Hall of Fame, Alumni Hall of Fame induction ceremony in 31 years, or you're going to be in the Ohio State Reformatory, I probably would have asked the person, well, how long am I serving? Needless to say, I was having a lot of fun back then, and I continued to. Fortunately, I did kind of straighten my ways out, and around 2014 that happened. But again, it's really, truly an honor to be here, and it's something I really never expected when I was in high school. I really feel like the Mentor High School alumni are not just a group or an association, but we're also a family. It was interesting today when I ran into some of the other inductees. We knew each other from, or we had associations that we didn't even know, or in our daily lives, so it wasn't like we were all complete strangers. It just shows you what a small world it is. I really loved Mentor High. I think it's still a very great institution. I really liked it so much that I came back. It was a big thing for me to move into the Mentor School District and make sure that my daughters were able to attend Mentor High and get the same, more things out of it than I did. And so I'm proud to say my daughters Ellie and Anna are here. Ellie's a senior at Mentor High, and Anna's a sophomore. They're both very involved in school, very good students. Ellie's going to be graduating and attending college in the fall. And again, I'm very humbled by this award. Mentor is a great place to live. The school district is excellent. It's one of the best assets that the city has. And I'd like to see it continue to stay that way. I thank everybody for coming here tonight. I'd like to thank Mark Kane, who nominated me for this. He's another inductee into the Hall of Fame. And thank all my friends and family for being here. I guess that's all I have to say. What, my 4 minutes or 5 minutes? Thank you.
Let's take a step back to the year 1996. Britain is alarmed by mad cow disease. Jazz great Ella Fitzgerald dies. The Olympic torch travels across the country through Lake County and even Mentor on its way to Atlanta for the Summer Olympics. Art Modell is given permission to move the Browns. Local voters approved the acquisition of the Mentor Lagoons, and President Clinton appoints Madeleine Albright as the first female Secretary of State. But most importantly, Jason Mobius graduates from Mentor High School. Jason began his leadership role while at Mentor High, being elected class president all 3 years. After graduation, he attended Miami University and obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in Management, Informational Systems, and Organizational Behavior. He moved to Chicago, where he quickly climbed the ladder in the consulting industry. At Huron Consulting Group, he became the first person to be promoted from an entry-level analyst to a managing director, a partner. Jason specializes in assisting hospitals and universities and help them implement business-critical applications. Just as important as his is his dedication to helping sick, disadvantaged, and at-risk youth. Jason volunteers as a counselor at Boggy Creek Gang Camp, a camp for children with critical illnesses, his goal being to make them laugh and smile. He also thrives to see his late mother's legacy continue by volunteering for the organization she started, Voters for a Cure. Through the Ladder Up program, Jason has helped provide tax preparation for low-income individuals, serving as a site leader in charge of operations and management, and also on the board. In his spare time, he is a baseball coach and volunteers supports Flying Horse Farm Summer Camp and the Susan B. Komen Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jason Mobius, 2016 Mentor Alumni Hall of Fame inductee.
Thank you. First off, congratulations to all my fellow inductees. It's certainly great to roam the halls of Mentor High again, with many of you sharing some stories about what we remember and what we didn't remember from high school, and what has changed and what definitely is the same. Certainly appreciate the Alumni Association, the high school, the Board of Education support of this program. It's an honor to be inducted. In terms of, as I was thinking about preparations for coming back into Mentor, was thinking about the foundations that were laid for me in terms of my values and what I think is the core elements of what I believe in. And a lot of those were founded at Mentor High School in terms of belief in supporting and caring for others, supporting your community, as well as striving to do the best you can in any of your endeavors. And all of that, for me, started very much at Mentor High School with the terrific staff and teachers that were there. Certainly would also like to thank my family for making it out, including my 6-year-old daughter, Alex, who's here, who agreed to take 2 days off of school. It was very tough for her. She didn't want to do it. But I forced her to come hang out with Dad for a couple days in his hometown. While this is certainly a tremendous, recognition of things that have occurred, in the past, for me, I'd certainly look at it as a challenge to equal all of the accomplishments of my fellow inductees and the folks who have come before us in the future, striving to do even more and give even more back to our community. So thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Very good. Wow. Thank you.
The year is 1997. Hong Kong returns to Chinese rule. The world lost Princess Diana. Titanic, the most expensive film of all time, crashes into theaters. Mentor celebrates the 200th anniversary of its first settlement. Comet Halley-Bopp came its closest to Earth. And Alison Adinaro Hughes graduates from Mentor High School. After graduation, Allison continued her education at the University of Dayton as a member of the Alpha Phi Omega sorority and earning a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration degree. She started her working career at Wiseco as a marketing coordinator and is currently at Polychem as direct sales and customer service manager. Allie serves multiple service projects and organizations. She works with the United Way, Women's Leadership Council, Evaluation and Investment Committee, and as campaign chair for Polychem. She sits on the leadership Lake County Board of Trustees. She's a member of the Western Reserve Junior Service League, holding positions of Policy and Bylaws Chair, Chamber of Commerce Liaison, Media Relations Chair, Community Research Chair, Admissions Chair, Candlelight Ball Chair, and Vice President. Ms. Hughes serves on the Board of Trustees for Lake Parks Foundation and as the Glitz Committee Secretary for Lake Health Foundation. She is a member of Toastmasters International. As a celebrity dancer, she raised over $4,000 for the Lifetime Family Planning Organization and has co-chaired their Dancing Under the Stars event numerous times. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alison Hughes, 2016 Mentor High alumni.
Thank you to the Alumni Committee for this award. It is an honor to be chosen. Thank you to my family and friends for being here to celebrate, and to Dr. Angela Tuckerman and Commissioner Kevin Malachek for nominating me. I was a product of the Mentor school system, kindergarten to graduation. In these 13 years, teachers, administrators, and coaches emphasized the importance of a well-rounded education through learning, volunteering, and networking. These skills set the foundation for the person I am today. It all started at Dale R. Rice Elementary School in Mrs. Miller's kindergarten class. Nap time was my favorite subject. My first volunteering opportunity started helping Miss Kryler, the librarian, with the yearly book fair. I learned you're never too young to start helping others. My years at Shore Junior High were the best. I became a peer mediator and was able to help the students through conflict resolution. To this day, I learned the listening skills that we learned. I played volleyball for coaches Rosola and Principe and learned the value of teamwork and some really catchy cheers, which sadly I still remember. My love of music and dance started as a member of Shoreline Singers show choir, directed by Miss Kuhns. In Miss Zorko, the Puns Queen English class, I met Angela Tuckerman, my best friend. From her, I learned the value of friendship and good study skills, but it helps when she's one of the smartest people in school. The transition from Shore to Mentor High was overwhelming at first. There were almost 3,000 students in 3 grades. That's a lot of people. I learned to ask for directions, and no, there's not a pool. The coursework was more challenging. Just ask my physics teacher, Mr. Burns, who I got to see today. I was very happy. I was in his room often for help, but in some alternate universe, it all did make sense. I also learned it is okay to respectfully challenge the teacher's questions and stand up for what I thought was right. This has served me well when advocating for nonprofit organizations. The lessons I learned have carried me through all aspects of my professional, volunteer, and personal life. The opportunities and experiences that I have had and the people I have met, and I'm honored to call my friends, is humbling. I am a product of the Mentor school system, and for that I am grateful.
In the year 2000, Elian Gonzalez, in the center of international dispute, is reunited with his father after the federal raid of his Miami relative's home. The U.S. presidential election between Bush and Gore is the closest in decades. Bush's slim lead in Florida leads to a recount in that state. Remember the hanging chads? The I Love You virus disrupts computers worldwide, but did not receive as much hype as the dreaded Y2K. Oprah debuts her O magazine, but most importantly, Anthony Debacco graduates from Mentor High School. While at Mentor High School, Anthony was an active member of student council and senior class vice president. He also entertained as the Cardinal mascot for 3 years. He was chosen as Snow King. And he had so much school spirit, he even was voluntold to dress up as Prince for an assembly. After graduation, Anthony attended Lakeland Community College and earned an associate's degree in video production, but he ultimately decided he wanted to open his own business. At the age of 24, along with partners, Anthony opened Dave's Cosmic Subs and Mentor. Because of his success, he helped open and train the staff at the Dave's on the Kent State campus. Although starting and running a business consumed most of his time, Anthony took his responsibility to his employees very seriously. He is a mentor as well as an employer. Anthony's workers are encouraged to stay in school and graduate. He assists them to make the transition from high school to either higher education or a workplace. He helps them with job placement for those needing guidance. Through his business, Anthony volunteers his and his employees' time and events to Mentor High School, as well as the suicide Prevention Education Alliance, their annual fundraising and awareness walk. Along with owning Dave's Cosmic Subs, Anthony has ventured into a new arena, that of selling insurance. While visiting a local nursing home, Anthony realized a need for transportation for the disabled to these facilities to visit loved ones. He now transports those without any other means to visit their relatives and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Anthony Debacco, 2016 Mentor High Alumni Hall of Fame inductee.
Thank you. Couldn't let that Prince thing slip through the crack, huh? No, I couldn't. All right. I want to thank everybody that's here that came out tonight. I want to thank the Alumni Association. I want to congratulate all the inductees. I want to thank Roger Condick. Roger, where are you? He was here. He was roaming around somewhere. He's the one that nominated me and got the whole ball rolling with me getting inducted, so that was pretty cool. I want to thank my parents. I get a little emotional, I'm sorry. And I know the music's going to start playing, isn't it, Irene? I know. that Academy music, I'm going to start hearing it in my head. When I was young, my parents, they instilled a lot of life lessons to my brothers and I, and it's so bad. I've carried those with me through my entire life. My mom, I'm sorry, this is so. She said, you know, don't be mean to anybody. Be the friend. You know, it doesn't matter if they're the jock or the band person or the guy sitting at the lunch table by himself. You know, be friendly to everybody. Be the one that they want to say hi to, and you want to say hi to them. And you know, be that guy. It's going to get you a long way. And she's right. I mean, it's so important that, you know, throughout life and when you're, for my job at the sub shop, I'm in contact with so many people that, you know, I don't want somebody to, you know, feel like they can't say hi to me or they can't, you know, can't be friends or they can't, you know, have a conversation with me because you know, of whatever reason. You know, everybody that I met that's friends with my parents, they've never said a bad thing about my parents. I mean, you could ask 1,000 people and nobody will say a bad thing about my parents. And that's kind of what I wanted when I grew up. I mean, you know, my dad, wherever we went, he knew somebody. Everybody knew him and they all loved him. They liked him. And I wanted to be like that too. So fast forward to high school, you know, at Ridge it was, you know, a couple hundred people and it was cool. It was easy, you know. Be friendly, but then we got to the high school and everybody merged and it was so many kids and so many people. I'm like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? I'm this little 4'8", 100-and-nothing-pound kid, and you know, it was cool. I worked 2 jobs when I was in high school, not by force but by choice. My parents both worked hard, and I wanted to work hard for the things that I had. You know, I didn't want to be the one that got me everything handed to me. I didn't have a lot of free time, but when I did, I wanted to be the mascot because I like to jump around. I was very, very high octane. I had a lot of energy and you know, it was perfect for me. So that was high school was a great time. I mean, I really enjoyed high school a lot. You know, a lot of people say, oh my God, I hated high school, but not me, man. I really liked it a lot. So, again, fast forward to when I opened the sub shop a couple years ago, or 10 years ago, God, almost 11 years ago. Those same life lessons and those values that my parents taught me, you know, they took over. And, you know, my employees, I maybe hired 5 or 6 employees right off the bat, and I don't think I hired anybody for probably 4 or 5 years. And, you know, I taught my employees the same thing my parents taught me, you know, treat people with respect, be kind to everybody. You know, in our business, you know, they could go to the next store down. They could go to the next restaurant down. So make them want to come to our store. So, you know, we kind of got to know our customers and know what they want. And I see a few people in here that I could tell you right now what they get. Some people I don't even know their name, but I could tell you what they order. So, it's stuff like that. People like that stuff, and it's important to them that they feel like welcomed and they want to come and support you. I have my employees, they work hard for me, and I started them when they're in high school, and they go to college and they come back from college, and then they get their jobs. And I want to read a text message that I got from one of my former employees. He sent this to me a couple of weeks ago. He got a new job at Cintas, a new promotion at Cintas, and he said, "I'm 95% sure I got a supervisor position at Cintas. Just wanted to thank you both for getting me to where I am today. Thanks, brother." And so, it's to see my employees take the step forward and to move on to their careers and their lives, and to know that I had an influence on that, it really means a lot to me. So, it's pretty important to me. That's all I got. I don't hear the music playing yet, so she's telling me to wrap it up. Again, I want to thank everybody that's here. I want to thank my parents, my wife, my in-laws for coming, my grandmother. That's all I got, I think. I'm good. That's it. Yes, my son's name is Rocco Debacco. Yes. Thank you. We hugged. I hugged.
Oh, you hug? Okay, I hug too.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have another round of applause for these most deserving Hall of Fame inductees? I'd also like to take a moment and have a round of applause for the Croatian Hall staff for a wonderful evening. And now I have the pleasure to introduce a beautiful and talented graduate of the class of 2009, Ellie Kelly, who is going to lead us in the alma mater.
Okay, those of you who can sing, I invite you to join me in the alma mater. If you don't know the words, happens to be in the back of your program and printed in very large letters for you. Keep the banners waving o'er us, floating towards the sky. We've a team that's fighting for us. Cheer for Mentor High. Alma mater, alma mater, when from thee we part, we shall keep thy memories ever woven in our hearts.
Thank you again for coming and joining us tonight. Please drive home safely.